Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. All right, guys, I'm back with another update coming out for the Middle East. I want to give you more information on these Israeli strikes that have been taking place onto Iran over the last 12 to 14 hours now. And not too much information coming out on Ukraine and Russia this morning. It looks like majority of the media is being dominated from what's going on in the Middle East right now. So we're going to talk about this. I'll give you guys an update. Today's date is June 13th, 2025. It's currently 8:24 a.m. at the time that I record this. That's in Pacific Standard Time. We're going to start off with this story here on your screen. Israel continues pounding Iran as airports, military bases are destroyed. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday morning urged Iran to reach a nuclear deal before there is nothing left, hours after Israel launched a wave of airstrikes against Iran. Yeah, it's crazy. There's well over 300 strikes that have taken place onto Iran already. We've got reports that more than 20 Iranian military commanders have been eliminated. This is pretty insane. Air bases being hit, airports destroyed, missile launch sites being hit as well. There's even missile launchers that were traveling throughout the country that were being hit by the Israelis. Israel has complete air superiority, control of the skies. Their air defenses have been wiped out in Iran. I mean, Israel can basically just do whatever they want and rain strikes onto Iran repeatedly. And it looks like they're going to be doing that. There's reports that this could take up to 2 weeks with this whole Operation Rising Lion, according to Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. So I want to give you guys some updates. From X over here, I've got lots of independent sources sharing information today. This is actually video footage coming out from Tehran showing another Israeli airstrike in one of the districts over there. So pretty insane what we're seeing, guys. I want to jump into this and start sharing this information with you. Let's hop on over here to X with ViceGrad24, an update on the Iranian chain of command. All right, so they shared a little picture here, our little graph kind of showing the different commanders that have been eliminated so far or confirmed to be. So it says the Iranian regime senior commanders. So we've got Gholam Ali Rashid. I reported him last night. Mohammad Hossein Bagheri. There was a report yesterday evening also that he was reportedly targeted but not confirmed to be eliminated. Looks like he is confirmed eliminated now. Ali Shamkhani, we talked about him last night. He's been taken out. He's pretty much a primary aide to Ali Khamenei, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, that is, the supreme leader of Iran. He was eliminated in a strike last night. Then we have Hossein Salami, a major commander of the IRGC. He was struck and eliminated in an airstrike last night as well. We've got Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh. We've got Davoud Shaikian, if I'm saying that correctly, okay? And then also Tahir Pourur. Sorry, guys, probably butchering some of these names, but these are just some of the top chain of command that has been eliminated already. And then there's a question mark here on Esmail Khani. I've reported to you guys yesterday that Israeli sources were indicating that he was also eliminated allegedly, but we have not been able to confirm that yet, okay? So just a little chart here showing the top commanders of Iran's IRGC, their military, that have been eliminated so far in strikes by Israel. Now from Savchenko Volodymyr, Israel has eliminated at least 20 Iranian military commanders and plans the operation to last at least 14 days, according to Reuters. Yeah, so Reuters picking up this story today, and it says Israel-Iran updates. Israel sweeping strikes across Iran kill at least 20 senior Iranian commanders, sources say. So yeah, they were striking a lot of buildings, especially in Tehran. Many of these commanders were not expecting these strikes to be carried out. I mean, we've been seeing a lot in the media that Trump's been coming out saying, calling on Israel not to strike Iran and to, exercise restraint and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, Israel starts hammering Iran. I have some updates on that story today with Trump. Now from Ozen Aggregator, Israel's gained total air superiority over Iran as complete freedom of movement. Israel has issued a direct ultimatum to Iran. With Iran's air defenses shattered, its leaders now face a choice: retaliate, and Israel will strike oil refineries and destroy the Iranian economy. Capitulate, and Israel will stop at nuclear sites. Israel says it's ready for full-scale war. In reality, war is already here. Iran must choose escalation or capitulation. Escalation may lead to complete collapse of the regime, but doing nothing will destroy Iran's image as a regional power. Yeah, so Iran's got a very serious decision to make here. So far, they haven't really responded at all. The most they did was yesterday evening, right before I was about to fall asleep. They launched about 100 drones at Israel. I haven't heard of any of those striking Israel at all. I believe majority, if not all of them, were actually shot down, as it was probably going to take more than 8 or 10 hours just to even arrive over there. A lot of these Shahed drones, they fly very slowly, so it takes time to get over there. Now, from open source intel, sites targeted so far, this is only the beginning. So, these are some of the major cities that were being attacked over the last 12 hours or so since the first wave of strikes began. We have Tabriz, which I've got new video footage coming out. We've got missile launch sites, bases over here for Iran's military being hit just recently. Kermanshah, Iraq, Isfahan, Natanz, and Tehran. Okay, so some of these is where the enrichment facilities located, like Natanz. We reported that yesterday. That place was pretty much struck and destroyed, and that's one of their major enrichment facilities for uranium to produce a nuclear bomb. Now, it was in technical web traffic from Iran cratering this morning as the Iranian government clamps down on internet access. Iran's Ministry of Communications confirmed that they are deploying temporary internet restrictions. Web data from NetBlocks reports. Okay, so you can see this chart here. Internet restrictions are starting to go into effect, and Iran's probably going to try to control the flow of information. This also indicates possibly they might be trying to retaliate soon. Maybe they're going to launch some missiles at Israel. We'll see, as I'm hearing that so many missile launch sites have already been preemptively hit before Iran could even launch any missiles, and Israel was prepared for this way in advance. Now, Megatron Ron breaking Donald Trump on the war against Iran. I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them in the strongest words to just do it, but no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they know, anticipated, or were told, and the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, with much more to come, and they know how to use it. Certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been a great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, even come to an end. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No more deaths, no more destruction. Just do it before it's too late. God bless you all. So, yeah, Trump calling on Iran to sign a nuclear deal with the U.S. Otherwise, Israel's going to continue pounding Iran until they no longer exist for the most part. You know, they're going to be destroying all their infrastructure, possibly even going after their oil economy here soon as well. I was hearing that ports could have been attacked as well, but I wasn't able to completely confirm that. But for the most part, military sites mainly being attacked right now. Now, from next, Trump called Israel's attack superb and warned that there's much more to come, according to ABC News. Yeah, it was a statement from Trump. Apparently, he was very thrilled with the attack from Israel last night onto Iran. Now, Megatron Ron again breaking. Trump was tasked with manipulating the Iranians with negotiations while Israel prepared the attack, according to Axios. Trump and his aides were only pretending to oppose an Israeli attack in public and didn't express opposition in private. The goal was to convince Iran that no attack was imminent and make sure Iranians on Israel's target list wouldn't move to new locations, Axios reports. So, yeah, apparently that was a major plan behind the scenes. Trump knew about this all along, that Israel was preparing this strike. Some people were stating that Trump gave the Iranians 60 days. That's on April 12th. That's when there was a 60-day notice, supposedly behind closed doors, being given to Iran. And that sounds about right, as that's when a lot of these nuclear talks started to begin. And then June 12th being yesterday, that's when Israel started carrying out strikes onto Iran, as we had no nuclear deal being reached. So it looks like Trump knew about this, and they were playing this game out as much as possible, so that way Iranian leaders and top political leaders, top leaders of their military would not be moving to secure locations. That way Israel could carry out these decapitation strikes and be more effective. And we definitely saw that last night. Now, Thomas Van Ling, Iran reports that Israeli missiles are now striking the Imam Ali missile base. Okay, so a missile base being targeted in Khorramabad, okay, in Loristan is what's being reported here. So this video is very poor quality. I do apologize, but what we can see here is lots of smoke potentially coming from a missile base that was targeted. And that's allegedly a lot of what Israel's going after right now. I'm seeing a lot of reports of that. Missile bases being struck, airports and airfields being destroyed. Here's another one from Mossad Technical. Multiple explosions reported at Iran's Hamadan Airbase as the Israeli Air Force expands its campaign against Iran's Air Force. The base is home to a pair of Iranian F-4 Phantom squadrons. Okay, I don't have any video footage yet coming out from this airbase, but allegedly this was another one being attacked by the Israeli Air Force, and they're targeting a lot of Iran's fighter jets as well, trying to destroy them. And we had reports last night that MiG-29s were taken off from Iran as they were trying to protect their warplanes from being destroyed. So Israel just trying to go after everything within Iran's military. Now, Vicegrad 24 breaking: Iran is officially withdrawn from the negotiations with the U.S. about its nuclear program. According to Reuters, Jerusalem Post writes that Israel is now trying to convince the USA and joining Israel in its airstrikes against Iran. Israel believes the regime could fall. Yeah, so Israel is very positively thinking about these strikes over here, and they want the U.S. to get involved. I'm not sure if the U.S. will. I'm thinking they won't right now. But we do have very big news that Iran has officially withdrawn from negotiations about any kind of a nuclear deal. So, not good news. Things are going to escalate from here. Now, suppressed news breaking: Israel is now bombing Tehran International Airport in Iran. So, yeah, I don't have any video footage of this either, but this is what suppressed news was reporting, that the Tehran International Airport was also being attacked. And here's a report from Channel 12 News out of Israel. It says the operation in Iran, currently there are attacks on Mehrabad Airport and Bushehr Airport, where Iranian Air Force fighter jets are stationed. So you can see so many airports just being attacked, including the Tehran International Airport. Here's another video now from Daniel. This is beyond humiliation. IAF, which is Israeli Air Force jets, are refueling over Iranian skies. Incredible. So this is a big indicator here that Iran doesn't have any air defenses. Some of the citizens are recording an Israeli fighter jet refueling using an aerial refueler right over Iran. Okay, that means that they don't have any air superiority as well, and they could just refuel and then carry out new strikes over here inside of Iran. So crazy video footage there. Now from Ori Taiki. This awkward moment when Russia's foreign ministry made a statement about the Middle East but forgot to look at the mirror. So this is the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs out of Ukraine, actually. And this is what he posted. Unprovoked military strikes against a sovereign UN member state, its citizens, peaceful cities, and nuclear energy infrastructure are categorically unacceptable, the ministry said in a statement. Yeah, this is what came out from Russia's foreign ministry. And Taiki stated here that Russia forgot to look at the mirror, as that's exactly what they did to Ukraine. They just went into Ukraine and started bombing them, right? So pretty hypocritical for the Russians to come out and state this. This was from their ministry, their foreign ministry, out of Russia. Now, Ozen Technical, footage of an Israeli IAI Heron long-range reconnaissance drone operating uncontested over the Iranian city of Tabriz, supporting Israeli strikes in the area. So yeah, there's a video here showing an Israeli drone that was just freely flying, and they don't fly very fast. They could easily be shot down. We've seen Hezbollah shoot some of these down before as well, down in Lebanon. And look at it, just freely flying over here in the skies. And where's Iran's air defenses? They've all been wiped out. Apparently, Israel carried out an operation way before before a lot of these airstrikes were even carried out in Iran, and they started destroying a lot of the air defenses with Mossad agents on the ground. I'll show you guys that information here in just a moment. Now, from Mossad Defender, fires and a secondary explosion seen emanating from the site of massive airstrikes earlier by the Israeli Air Force near Tabriz in northwestern Iran, likely targeting ballistic missile launch and storage sites operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC. So yeah, major strikes over here in Tabriz, one of the cities up in northwestern Iran that we were talking about earlier on one of the maps. Take a look. So pretty massive airstrike that's been carried out over here inside of Iran. We can see some flashes of light down there, possibly indicating secondary explosions, and a lot of reports that there were air bases in this area being attacked, missile launch storage sites. So I'm very curious to see how much capacity Iran has to even launch an attack onto Israel now, as a lot of their sites are being hit today. Now, world at war, just in, Israeli aircraft hit the Iranian Air Force Tabriz airbase, creating a significant smoke plume that could be seen rising from the site. Multiple Iranian MiG 29 fighter jets are on fire now. Haven't been able to confirm that any aircraft have been destroyed, but it would not surprise me. And here's a massive plume of smoke coming from one of the air bases over here in Tabriz, also. So, northwestern Iran, one of the major cities where a lot of Iranian air bases and missile storage launch sites are located. Israel carrying out a lot of hits over here. So crazy video there. Now, Oza Defender, Israel Defense Forces announced the completion of a series of strikes against Iranian surface-to-surface missile array in western Iran in the last few hours. Israeli Air Force fighter jets, guided by precise intelligence from the Intelligence Directorate, completed a series of strikes against Iran's ballistic and cruise missile capabilities, targeting and destroying dozens of launchers, surface-to-surface missile storage facilities, and additional military sites, including a specific site in western Iran where a unique launch mechanism for surface-to-surface missiles was embedded within shipping containers for covert use by Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, or IRGC. So yeah, missile launch sites again being hit here, guys. Here's a couple photos I can show you. Strike on a launch site of surface-to-surface missiles in West Iran. Okay, so you can see they were striking multiple positions here. Loaded launcher in containers. So they had containers where these launchers were just sitting out here, hangar containing, ready to launch surface-to-surface missiles. Okay, so lots of missiles being struck and destroyed with these reports. And this is kind of just a map showing the range of a lot of these missiles, how far they could target. Israel being right over here and well within range of numerous of types of missiles that Iran currently has. So reportedly strikes over there. Here's video footage now also from War Translated. Israeli Air Force carried out strikes on Iranian ballistic missile launchers, which were reportedly aimed at Israel. Yeah, so apparently there was some reports also that Iran was preparing to launch ballistic missiles, immediately, and they started striking them. Okay, here's one of them that were inside of a cargo truck. Yeah, they were being preemptively hit already by Israeli aircraft and being destroyed. And there was some reports last night that Iran was firing missiles at Israel, but I could not completely confirm that. I haven't seen any mainstream news covering that yet. If anything, the most we really saw coming from Iran so far was mainly just drones. And I believe a lot of those, good majority, got taken down already. Now, from next to internet and mobile networks shut down across Iran, thousands have taken to the streets demanding an immediate strike on Israel and expressing outrage over the government's inaction. Iranian authorities fear a potential uprising. So here's video footage. We'll watch a little bit of this. Take a look. All right, so I do apologize. We don't have any subtitles here to be able to tell what everybody is saying, but and unfortunately this video is very blurry as well. But apparently a lot of the citizens over there want the Iranian government to respond to these strikes and attack Israel. And so far we haven't seen a response yet. I'm very curious why we have not seen anything coming from Iran, but I wonder if maybe tonight that's probably when Iran will try to launch some sort of attack on Israel, as mainly what we see anytime strikes are being carried out onto any nations, they're usually happening at night. So I would not be surprised if we get that information later this evening. Now from Channel 12 News out of Israel, the operation in Iran at this hour. Strikes are taking place at Murabad Airport and Bushehr Airport, where the Iranian Air Force fighter jets are stationed. So we actually heard this report earlier, kind of showed this to you guys, but this is what Channel 12 News was reporting as well, that two other airports were being targeted and hit. Now from next, all civilian aircraft have been evacuated from the Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. Yeah, so the major international airport in Tel Aviv in Israel has been evacuated. They've taken all the aircraft off the runways. There was also a report last night that the Israeli Doomsday plane with Benjamin Netanyahu has gone airborne already. I'm not sure if it still is, but last night it did, as they're preparing for some sort of retaliation coming from the Iranians, most likely going to be ballistic missiles being fired. Now from Amichai Stein, the Mossad's role in the operation. In central Iran, Mossad commando teams deployed operational systems of precision-guided weaponry in open areas near the locations of Iranian surface-to-air missile systems. At the onset of the Israeli assault, these systems were activated and the precision guided missiles were launched simultaneously and with high accuracy toward their targets. Through covert operations, Mossad had planted advanced strike systems and sophisticated technologies on vehicles. At the launch of the surprise attack, the weaponry was activated and completely destroyed the Iranian defense systems. Mossad also established a base for explosive laden drones that were smuggled deep into Iran long before the attack by Mossad agents. During the Israeli strike, the explosive drones were activated, launched towards surface to surface missile launchers located at the Asfahabad base near Tehran, a facility that poses a threat to strategic assets and Israeli civilians. So, isn't that crazy, guys? The Mossad, Israel's intelligence, already had some operatives on the ground inside of Iran to carry out numerous operations to destroy their air defense systems, destroy their missile launch sites prior to these airstrikes being carried out by the Israeli Air Force. So this thing was timed perfectly, and the Mossad carried out these operations just prior to the strikes being taken place inside of Iran to make them more effective, especially destroying their air defenses. Now, from Israel Radar, Mossad releases footage of operatives deploying strike drones inside of Iran ahead of the strike. What an incredible operation. Yeah, this was video footage of these Mossad operatives setting up these strike drones to go after multiple targets inside of Iran, especially their air defenses. That's immediately what we heard last night, that a lot of their air defenses were being destroyed, and Israel was just freely flying in and lobbing missiles and bombs into Iran to destroy targets. So crazy what the Mossad has been able to achieve here. Now, from Open Source Center, overnight Israeli strikes reportedly targeted strategic Iranian sites, including the Natanz nuclear facility, Iran's primary center for uranium enrichment. High-resolution imagery from Airbase Defense, captured on June 13th, 2025, reveals significant damage to the facility. So this is new satellite imagery coming out from the Natanz nuclear facility that we know was heavily hit last night in major attacks. We can see lots of damage right here. Looks like several buildings have been destroyed. Also right over here as well. I'm not sure what these were. Maybe some warehouses or some launch sites. And I believe we had bunker-busting bombs striking some of these areas of this facility as well. It could have been right here. I'm not sure exactly where the strikes took place. And the reactors were buried deep underground. And these Israeli bunker-busting bombs were penetrating and destroying at least one reactor over there, is what I was hearing last night. Now, Vicegrad 24 breaking: mobile ballistic missile launchers have been seen driving at various locations across Iran. Increased activity consistent with preparation for launches has also been observed at launch sites. Ballistic missile strikes against Israel could be imminent. Okay, you can see this was coming out at 6:11 a.m., just about maybe 3 hours or so at the time that I record this for you guys, early this morning on June 13th. So yeah, very possible, probably tonight, Israel could be attacked, and I'm sure they're preparing for that right now. Now, open source intel breaking: several trucks loaded with missile systems reportedly being readied for launch towards Israel were struck and destroyed by Israeli drones near the broken bridge in Azadabad, Hamadan, according to local sources. Yeah, so apparently we had missile systems being destroyed that were ready to launch missiles at Israel. Now, this video, unfortunately, is just, again, very blurry and shaky. I can't really see what we're looking at here, so I feel like there's no point really watching this, but just wanted to show you guys quickly here. They're trying to show something, but I really couldn't see what was going on there. But based on this information from open source intel, there was some missile launchers that were on trucks that were also being destroyed, and that's probably relating to the videos that were coming out from the Israeli Air Force showing those strikes. Now, Ozen Technical: Jordan has officially closed its airspace to all civil air traffic. Closure comes as Iran launches a large-scale retaliatory attack on Israel. All right, so Jordan closing down their airspace because most likely if Iran launches an attack onto Israel, a lot of these projectiles will cross over Iraq and across Jordan as well. And last time what we saw when Israel was being attacked, the Jordanians allowed Israel to fly into their airspace to shoot down a lot of these incoming projectiles. So that's probably why Jordan's closing down their airspace. Now, from next to panic buying in Israel after war warning: Carrefour reports a 300% surge in shoppers this morning. Israelis are clearing shelves: water, bread, baby food, hygiene products, batteries. Supermarkets flooded after Netanyahu warned that the war will be long. With Iran, that is. Okay, so these were videos coming out from the supermarkets, in Israel as citizens are preparing for a long war with Iran. Okay, they're expecting this to carry on potentially for weeks, and they want people to be prepared. So people are flooding the markets, getting supplies and essentials they need now. Now, Oza Defender, Channel 12 News out of Israel, an Israeli official has said that the military operation against Iran will continue for at least 2 weeks. So there's the official report from Channel 12 News. They're expecting 2 weeks of consistent attacks onto Iran. Now, from Nexta, this is what a precision strike looks like. The apartment of an Iranian commander blown straight through. Israeli media report that the attack killed not only top military generals, but also eliminated nearly all of Iran's key nuclear scientists. Yeah, so these were decapitation strikes that were being carried out by the Israeli Air Force, striking all kinds of high rise buildings inside of the capital of Tehran. Here's a missile that directly struck at the side of this building. And yeah, we have Iranian commanders being killed and also nuclear scientists, numerous of them from each department in Iran that have been eliminated overnight. Now, Clash reports Israeli army releases a new video showing Iran's regions that were attacked by Israel. So it's mostly like the western side of Iran over here, western and northwestern areas that were being attacked. This would be the eastern side over here. So these were majority of the areas being bombed for the most part last night. And, you know, if you think about it, they haven't even targeted anywhere over here yet in the central or eastern side of Iran. So Israel's already warning to basically give up now, or else they're going to continue more airstrikes and probably start going after targets in the east next. Now, for more translated, a red flag of vengeance was raised over the Jamkaran Mosque in Iran's Qom. I don't know how to say that. I think it's Qom. It was previously raised after the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Yeah, it's the first time they've raised this red flag in a while, ever since Ismail Haniyeh was eliminated in Tehran in some sort of explosion or airstrike that took place. We don't even really know what happened. That was months back. And this is a flag of vengeance, meaning that they're going to attack Israel. So most likely retaliation from the Iranians will be coming. But the question is, how big will their capabilities be, and what will Israel do to prevent another massive ballistic missile attack? As right now they've got air superiority, control the skies over Iran. They should be able to launch more airstrikes and pressure the Iranians. Now, for Mario Nawfal, Iranian president to address nation soon. A statement on President Mossad Pezeshkian's official X account announced, as soon as the Zionist regime's criminal attack occurred, the president and the government team have taken over the management of the scene, and a special meeting of the government board has been held in this regard. Dr. Pezeshkian will soon speak to the people. God willing, the Zionist regime will regret its action today. Yeah, this is what was stated by Mossad Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, that, most likely they're going to be responding, because he's saying here the Zionist regime, that's Israel, will regret its action, that they are going to be responding and most likely attacking Israel soon. So things are about to light up over here in the Middle East very soon with Iran and Israel. Now, OSINT Technical, newly released image of Israeli Air Force F-16s preparing to take off for last night's initial attack on Iran. Each F-16I Sufa can be seen armed with a max fuel tank loadout, likely 8 times GBU-39 SDB glide bombs, 2 times AIM or AIM-120B AMRAAMs, 48 glide bombs in this image. So yeah, here's multiple of the F-16s that were getting ready to take off at some of the air bases in Israel as they were going to be launching strikes onto Iran, okay, fully loaded with max capacity of missiles and bombs that they were carrying, and also these massive fuel tanks on the side. And I saw a picture, I think it was over Syria. There was a photo of one of these fuel tanks that were disposed of over Syria that was found. Somebody found it as they were walking around in the desert over there. It's pretty crazy. There's probably a lot of boosters all over Syria as well from these rockets being fired, or missiles, excuse me. Now, for Vicegrad 24 breaking, the U.S. starts moving its naval assets to the Middle East. The USS Thomas Hudner and another destroyer has been sent towards the region. They are expected to shoot down any Iranian ballistic missiles fired toward Israel or U.S. forces in the region. Yeah, so U.S. sending more troops over here, deploying more assets to the Middle East, preparing to defend Israel. And also there was reports last night, I think it was the Al Udeid Airbase. I think that's down in the UAE. In the Middle East, that we had being evacuated last night. There was numerous airfields over there, U.S. airfields that were starting to be evacuated, And I'm not sure why. Maybe they're expecting the Iranians to attack those bases or something. Maybe they have information that the Iranians will. But there was a top commander of Iran's military yesterday evening that was stating that they would give a severe slap to the U.S. and Israel, okay, not just Israel alone, that the U.S. is involved in these strikes, even though they've come out formally and stated they are not. So that's probably what the U.S. is preparing for, is the Iranians to retaliate on the U.S. as well, potentially. Now, from next, Netanyahu says the war with Iran will be long. Israeli citizens have been officially advised to stock up on food, supplies, and warm clothing. But most importantly, we must equip ourselves with patience and faith in the righteousness of our path, the Israeli prime minister told his people. Yeah, this was a statement from Benjamin Netanyahu here, advising the citizens to stock up and get ready for a long war with Iran. Just 1 minute, take a look.
אנחנו פגענו בפיקוד הבכיר, פגענו במדענים בכירים שמקדמים את פיתוח פצצות האטום, פגענו במתקני גרעין. אנחנו צוברים הישגים, אבל אני גם יודע ואתם יודעים, אין מלחמות חינם. ולכן אני מבקש מכם שוב להישמע בקפדנות להנחיות פיקוד העורף, וייתכן מאוד שתידרשו לשהות זמן ממושך הרבה יותר ממה שהיינו רגילים עד עכשיו במרחבים המוגנים. אתם כמובן תצטיידו, אני בטוח שאתם עושים את זה במוצרים, מצרכים, בגדים וכו', אבל הכי חשוב להצטייד באורך רוח, באמונה בצדקת דרכנו, בביטחון בניצחוננו, ולא סתם קראנו למבצע הזה עם כלבי, הן עם כלבי יקום וכארי יתנשא. מוצלחת, אנחנו...
All right, so things are getting pretty serious over here in the Middle East, and now we're still waiting for the Iranians to respond to Israel. This was a major statement coming out from Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister here, and warning his civilians, or his citizens, excuse me, to prepare for some sort of retaliation coming from the Iranians. And again, what we're expecting, this could last a week or two, maybe longer, and Israel's going to continue pounding Iran until Iran basically capitulates here and gives up, is what I'm thinking is going to happen. But I'm still expecting the Iranians to respond in some sort of way. They're probably going to be launching some missiles later this evening. We'll see how big of an attack that's going to be. And again, the big question is, are they going to attack the U.S. as well? Because if the U.S. does get attacked, and especially if any U.S. troops get harmed in these attacks, that might draw the U.S. into this conflict. Now we have a major war over here in the Middle East. So I'll continue to follow this story, guys. We get more updates later. I'll let you know what's going on over here. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this update on June 13th, 2025. But that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. We'll see you in the next one.